The 2025 season is almost here, and the Vikings are shaking things up like a Minnesota blizzard. The biggest headline? Our quarterback room just got a major facelift. With rookie sensation J.J. McCarthy locked in as the starter, the team made some bold moves to solidify the backup spot. They traded Sam Howell to the Philadelphia Eagles and signed veteran Carson Wentz, a former number 2 overall pick with serious experience. This isn't just a depth chart tweak. It's a statement that the Vikings are all in on building a reliable QB foundation. But why the shakeup? General Manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah is clearly prioritizing experience behind McCarthy, who's got the fan base dreaming of a breakout year. Wentz, with his 93 career starts and a one-time MVP candidacy, brings a level of know-how that could be a game-changer if McCarthy needs a breather. The trade of Howell, who showed flashes but struggled in the preseason, netted us a 2026 fifth-round pick and a 2027 seventh-rounder, giving us more draft ammo for the future. What do you think about Wentz as our QB2? Is he the safety net we need? Or are you still holding out hope for another name? Let's hear your takes in the comments. This move's got Skull Nation buzzing. Hold up, Vikings fans, because the trade train didn't stop with Howell. The Vikings sent defensive tackle Harrison Phillips to the New York Jets for a 2026 sixth-round pick and a 2027 pick swap. Phillips was a fan favorite, starting every game for the last 3 seasons, but this move frees up cap space and gives us draft capital. Could this be a setup for something bigger? Rumors are swirling about a potential reunion with a Vikings legend. Yep, you heard it. Adam Thielen's name is back in the headlines. Reports say the Vikings have inquired about trading for the Carolina Panthers wide receiver, who was a star in Minnesota during his prime. With our receiving core banged up, Justin Jefferson and Josh Metellus just returned to practice, but Rondale Moore's out for the season with a knee injury. Thielen could be the veteran spark we need. Imagine Thielen back in purple, catching passes from McCarthy. Would that get you hyped for the season? Or do you think we should focus on younger talent? Drop your thoughts below. This could be a game changer. Let's talk about J.J. McCarthy, because this kid is giving us all the feels. Head coach Kevin O'Connell is oozing confidence, saying McCarthy's football brain reminds Aaron Jones of, get this, Aaron Rodgers. That's high praise from a guy who played with Rodgers for 6 years in Green Bay. McCarthy's been limited in preseason reps with his top receivers, but his poise and playmaking have fans dreaming big. The Vikings' passing attack is stacked when healthy. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and T.J. Hockenson form a trio that's a nightmare for defenses. But with injuries piling up, including Moore's season-ender and Andrew Van Ginkel and Harrison Smith still sidelined, depth is a concern. McCarthy's ability to stay cool under pressure will be key, especially with tough international games against Pittsburgh and Cleveland on the horizon. Are you as pumped about McCarthy as O'Connell is? Or do you think he's got to prove himself in the regular season first? Let's get that debate going in the comments. Roster cuts are always tough, and the Vikings didn't hold back. On Sunday, they trimmed 11 players, including veteran quarterback Brett Rippon, who threw a costly interception in the preseason finale against the Titans. The deadline to get down to 53 players is Tuesday, August 26th, at 3 p.m., and the Vikings are making some tough calls to shape their roster for the regular season. One name that's got fans talking is rookie Max Brosmer, who's been turning heads in the preseason. Despite no prior NFL experience, he's shown flashes of brilliance, making the QB2 decision even trickier before Wentz came aboard. Could Brosmer stick around on the practice squad, or will he be a surprise cut? The clock's ticking, and every move counts. Who do you think makes the final 53? Any dark horses you're rooting for? Hit the comments and let's predict the roster together. The Vikings defense was a beast last season, ranking second in the NFL in EPA/play, only behind the Denver Broncos. But losing Harrison Phillips stings, and with Andrew Van Ginkel and Harrison Smith still nursing injuries, there's work to do. The good news? Cornerback Isaiah Rodgers is lobbying hard to take over as kick returner, bringing some Super Bowl swagger from his time with the Eagles. Rodgers missed 2023 due to a gambling suspension but proved his worth last year in Philly. Now he's ready to make a bigger impact in Minnesota. With our special teams needing a spark, Could Rodgers be the X factor? His speed and playmaking could give us an edge in field position battles. What's your take on Rodgers as a returner? Can he bring that Philly magic to Minnesota? Let's hear your predictions in the comments. Let's zoom out to the bigger picture. The Vikings are set to play 2 international games in 2025. First up, they face the Pittsburgh Steelers in Dublin at Croke Park on September 28th, followed by a clash with the Cleveland Browns in London at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on October 5th. These games are a chance to show the world what Skull Nation is all about. Playing overseas brings unique challenges, travel, time zones, and hostile crowds. But with McCarthy leading the charge and a loaded offense, the Vikings have a shot to make a statement. The question is, can our defense hold up against physical teams like the Steelers and Browns? We'll need every ounce of that purple pride to dominate. Which international game are you most excited for? Drop your thoughts below, and let's get ready to cheer our boys across the pond. The preseason finale against the Titans was a mixed bag. A 23-13 loss, but it showed us glimpses of what's to come. Rookie Max Brosmer had moments of brilliance, while Brett Rippon's interception and concussion scare reminded us why the Vikings moved on. The game was a chance to evaluate depth, and players like Xavier Scott stood out, but the focus is now on the regular season. The Titans game also highlighted our need for receiver depth, especially with injuries piling up. That's where the Thielen rumors come in. Could he be the missing piece to keep our offense humming? The Vikings front office is clearly in deal-making mode, and the next few days could bring more surprises. What did you think of the Titans game? Any standouts or concerns? Let's break it down in the comments. Speaking of trades, the Vikings have been one of the most active teams this preseason, alongside the Eagles. The Howell trade wasn't just a one-off. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah is playing chess, not checkers. Trading Phillips and Howell while signing Wentz shows a clear strategy. Prioritize experience and flexibility for 2025. But here's the kicker. Could another blockbuster be on the horizon? The Thielen buzz is getting louder, and with the trade market heating up for receivers league-wide, the Vikings might not be done dealing. A reunion with Thielen would be a feel-good story for fans and a practical move for depth. What's the one trade you'd love to see the Vikings make? Drop your dream deal in the comments and let's spark some debate. Let's not sleep on our running game. Aaron Jones is ready to roll. The former Packer dropped a bold comparison on Up and Adams, likening McCarthy's football IQ to Aaron Rodgers. That's a massive endorsement, and it's got us thinking Jones could be a secret weapon in 2025. His 1,027 rushing yards last season with Green Bay prove he's still got it. With McCarthy's arm and Jones's legs, the Vikings offense could be explosive. But the offensive line needs to step up to protect our young QB and open lanes for Jones. If they gel, we could see some highlight reel plays early in the season. How big of a role do you see for Aaron Jones this year? Let's talk about our run game in the comments. The Vikings front office isn't just making noise on the trade market. They're locking in key pieces for the future. General Manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah signed a contract extension, a sign the organization trusts his vision. His aggressive moves this offseason show he's not afraid to take risks to build a contender. From drafting McCarthy to reshaping the QB room and exploring trades like Thielen, Adofo-Mensah is setting the stage for a big year. But with roster cuts looming, tough decisions await. Who stays, who goes, and how will it shape our Super Bowl hopes? What's your take on Kwesi's moves so far? Is he building a championship roster? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, injuries. The Vikings receiving core has been hit hard, with Rondale Moore out for the season and others just getting back to practice. The defense isn't unscathed either, with Andrew Van Ginkel and Harrison Smith still on the mend. This makes the Thielen rumors even more intriguing. Depth will be critical, especially with a tough early schedule. The Vikings face the Bears in Week 1, followed by those international games. Can our backup step up if the starters aren't 100%? The next few days of roster cuts will tell us a lot. Which injury worries you the most? And how do you feel about our depth? Let's hash it out in the comments. The Vikings special teams could be a game changer in 2025. Isaiah Rodgers is pushing hard to be our kick returner, and his speed could flip games in our favor. With the NFL's new kickoff rules emphasizing returns, having a dynamic player like Rodgers could give us a huge edge. Last season, our special teams were solid but not spectacular. Rodgers, fresh off a Super Bowl run with the Eagles, brings playoff experience and a hunger to prove himself. If he locks down the return job, we could see some electric moments at US Bank Stadium. Who's your pick for the biggest special teams impact? Drop your choice in the comments and let's see who's got the best take. As we wrap up the preseason, the Vikings' final 53-man roster is taking shape. Names like Ty Chandler are on the bubble, and cuts like Brian Asamoah too have already raised eyebrows. The deadline is Tuesday, and every decision will shape our path to the playoffs. Who makes the cut and who's the odd man out? The addition of Carson Wentz and the potential Thielen reunion show the Vikings are thinking big. But with a rookie QB and a banged-up roster, there's no margin for error. The next few days will be critical as we lock in our squad for Week 1. Who's your must-keep player for the 53-man roster? Let's build our dream team in the comments. Let's take a moment to honor a legend, Jim Marshall, the heart of the Purple People Eaters, passed away recently, and his number 70 is forever retired in Vikings history. Marshall's legacy as a leader and warrior on the field reminds us what it means to be a Viking. His loss stings, but his spirit lives on in every Skol chant. As we head into 2025, the Vikings are carrying that same grit and determination. From McCarthy's fire to Rodgers' hustle, this team is ready to fight. How do we honor Marshall's legacy? By playing with heart and leaving it all on the field. How do you think we should celebrate Jim Marshall's impact? Share your ideas in the comments. All right, Skol Nation, it's time to wrap this up and get ready for the real deal. The 2025 season is just days away, and the Vikings are loaded with talent, drama, and potential. From McCarthy's rise to Thielen's possible return, we're in for a wild ride. So, grab your purple gear, crank up the Skol chant, and let's get loud for Week 1. What's got you most hyped for the season? Drop it in the comments, smash that like button, and share this video with every Vikings fan you know. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an update from Vikings news. Skol Vikings! Let's make 2025 our year.